Smart riders don't just ride, they stay prepared. Ever seen a rider fix a problem in 5 minutes when everybody else is panicking? Imagine never worrying about a loose bolt, a flat tire, or a dead battery again. After this video, that's going to be you. Look, I don't care if you've been riding for 2 months or 20 years. At some point, you're going to get stuck. Maybe it's a loose mirror, a dead battery, or worse, a flat tire in the middle of nowhere. And in that moment, you either have the right tool or you're waiting hours for a tow truck questioning your life choices. Most riders, they think they're prepared until reality proves them wrong. I've seen guys get stuck over something as stupid as a missing Allen wrench. One tool. That's all it takes to turn a minor problem into a full-blown nightmare. But here's the thing. Having the right tools isn't just about fixing problems. It's about never getting sidelined, riding smarter, and maybe even saving your own skin. So today we're going to break down 10 must-have tools that every biker needs. Some of these you probably already know, but a few, they're total game changers. So let's get into it. All right, so let's talk about the most basic tool that every biker needs. And I'm talking about a solid multi-tool with hex keys. And hey, if you want the best of both worlds, also with little screwdrivers. If you don't have one of these, I gotta ask, are you even a real rider? I mean, look, stuff on your bike is gonna rattle loose. Mirrors, levers, fairings. If it's got a bolt, at some point, it's coming undone. And in that moment, you got two choices. Whip out a multi-tool like a pro, or start asking random people at a gas station if they happen to have a wrench while pretending that you totally had this all under control. Now, I'm not talking about those cheap pocket multi-tools that claim to do everything but break the second you apply pressure. You want one made for motorcycles, like the Cruise Tools Outbacker or the Motion Pro multi-purpose tool. These bad boys have hex keys, screwdrivers, and Torx bits. Because let's be real, I swear bike manufacturers like using just random screw sizes just to mess with us. I actually ride with 3 multi-tool sets that came in a pack from Amazon Basics that covers both Imperial SAE and metric, because there is often a need for both of these. If you have a mix of American-made bikes and imports, you're gonna need both. And be careful, because cheap tools will round off bolts and make problems worse. But good tools, they make you look like a genius when you fix something in 30 seconds. So yeah, multi-tool. It's small, it's essential, and trust me, you'll thank yourself the first time you need one. All right, multi-tools are great for quick fixes, but sometimes you need real tools. And that's where a motorcycle tool roll comes in. Let's be honest, tightening something with a tiny fold-out tool works until it doesn't. Proper wrench, ratchet, and pliers will save you when you're dealing with bigger problems, like a chain adjustment or an oil drain plug that suddenly refuses to cooperate. Most tool rolls are going to come with the basics, but you can also customize them. Always make sure you've got an adjustable wrench for when your regular wrench just doesn't fit, pliers because things will get stuck, guaranteed, and zip ties, because zip ties are basically motorcycle duct tape. A pre-made kit like the Cruise Tools RTH3 has all the essentials, but you can also build out your own. And make sure you get the right one for your bike, because they do come in Imperial SAE for your Harleys or metric for your imports. Either way, don't rely on the junk that came with your bike. It's there to look useful, not actually be useful. Ah yes, the gas station tire inflator. The one that makes you wonder, will this thing even give me air, or is it just going to take $2 from me and laugh in my face? Let's be real, those pumps are hit and miss at best. And when they do work, they often have the accuracy of a weather forecast made by a cat. That's why you absolutely need a portable tire inflator with a built-in pressure gauge. And that's a game changer when it comes to getting accurate tire readings and keeping things topped off on the go. If you don't think tire pressure matters, well, my friend, let me hit you with the harsh truth. Riding with low tire pressure isn't just a slight inconvenience. It can seriously impact your bike's handling. You might feel like it's fine, but your bike's tire profile is slowly getting wrecked. One of the most dangerous consequences? Tire cupping. When your tires are underinflated, the contact patch doesn't distribute pressure evenly. This leads to those odd, uneven wear patterns that you see in cupping. And over time, your tire's performance takes a dive. You lose grip and your bike feels more wobbly. And believe me, the last place you want to find out your tire is shot is when you're hitting a sharp corner or emergency braking. I neglected my bike for a couple of months, left it sitting in the garage with low tire pressure, and it developed tire cupping. The ride I took down the interstate after that stint in the garage was straight up frightening. Over 70 miles per hour, it felt like my back tire was sliding all over the place in mud. It was not a fun experience. We had to ride home with avoid highways on the GPS, which, come to think of it, was a very pleasant backcountry ride, but we had to take it for all the wrong reasons. Enter the Fantic X9 Pro Portable Tire Inflator. This thing is compact, powerful, and it's crazy convenient. It has a digital pressure gauge so you can get a precise reading every time. The built-in rechargeable battery means you're not fumbling with cords, and it even has a huge LED display so you can see exactly what you're doing, even at night. And here's the best part. It can inflate a motorcycle tire from flat to full in just a few minutes. Plus, you can set your desired PSI and it'll shut off automatically, so there's no chance of overinflating. No more playing the guess and check game like you would with those gas station dinosaurs. This is your peace of mind on the road. Regularly checking and inflating your tires is an easy way to extend their lifespan, prevent uneven wear, and keep you from having to make a detour to the nearest mechanic because you didn't take tire pressure seriously. Plus, if you're on a group ride and someone needs this and you're the one that pulls it out of your saddlebag, you become the instant hero. A well-inflated tire means better handling, more control, and a smoother ride. And the Fantic X9 Pro makes sure you can keep your tires in check no matter where the road takes you. So imagine this, there you are, middle of nowhere, just you, your bike, and the sound of air escaping from your tire faster than your weekend plans. You check your tire, and boom, a rogue nail has decided to hit your ride. And guess what? You don't have a spare, because motorcycles don't come with spares. Because why make life easy, right? Now, if you don't have a tire plug kit, your choices are pretty grim. You can either call for a tow and sit around for 2 hours while your wallet cries, or you could try to flag down a stranger and hope they don't steal your bike while pretending to help. Or you could walk 10 miles in motorcycle boots and totally rethink your life. Or just be prepared like a boss and fix it yourself in 5 minutes. And this is where the Slime Tire Repair Tackle Kit saves the day. This thing's a lifesaver, and I mean that literally, because sitting on the side of the road for hours next to a disabled bike, that isn't exactly the safest way to spend your afternoon. All right, let's break it down. This kit comes with a set of plug tools, including the T-handle reamer and the plug insertion tool, so you can fix that puncture like a pro. It also has a bunch of extra heavy-duty tire plugs, not the cheap thin ones that fall apart when you look at them wrong. And an extra pencil gauge, which you don't need because you have the Fantic Pro Tire Inflator, right? If you have a basic kit, I do recommend adding a small tube of rubber cement and a razor blade for trimming away the excess plugs. Now, fixing a puncture, it isn't rocket science, but you do need to do it right. Here's how it works. First, you got to find the leak. You'll usually hear it before you see it, and if not, a little spit or water on the tire will show you the bubbles. Gross? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. Then pull out whatever evil object tried to ruin your day. A nail, a screw, some mystery piece of debris. Yank it out like you're pulling out a splinter. Then ream out the hole. And yes, that sounds absolutely wrong, and trust me, it feels even more wrong, but it's necessary. Use that T-handle reamer to rough up the inside of the puncture so that the plug sticks in there properly. Think of it as prepping the wound. Then you got to insert the plug. Take one of those extra thick plugs from the kit, coat it with rubber cement, and then shove it into the tire using the insertion tool. Make sure you leave a little sticking out, then use your razor blade to cut off the excess plug so it sits flush with the tire. Lastly, air it back up. This is where your portable tire inflator comes in. Pump it back up to the correct PSI, double check for leaks with a little soapy water or spit again, and if it holds air, you're back in business. And that's it. You just saved yourself from a tow truck, a long walk, or an existential crisis. And the best part, a properly plugged tire can last for hundreds, sometimes even thousands of miles if done right. Though for safety, I still recommend replacing the tire eventually. The Slime Kit is compact, it's easy to use, and most importantly, it means you're never stranded because of a simple puncture. If you don't already have one in your tool collection, get one. Future you will thank you. Ah yes, the dreaded dead battery, the great equalizer. One minute, you're ready to hit the road, and then the next, your bike's about as useful as a really heavy paperweight. And if you're in the middle of nowhere, well, I hope you enjoy deep existential thoughts while you're waiting on a miracle. Maybe you left your key on overnight, or maybe your battery just decided it was done with life. Whatever the reason, a dead battery is one of the most frustrating things that can happen to a rider. But here's the good news. You don't need to beg a stranger with jumper cables or push start your bike like it's 1983. Not if you have this. This is the Astro AI S8 car battery jump starter. And let me tell you, it's a freaking lifesaver. This little box of magic is powerful enough to jumpstart not just motorcycles, but also cars and trucks and boats and probably your neighbor's ancient lawnmower. All right, so let's break this thing down. What makes the Astro AI S8 so awesome? Well, it's got 1500 amps of power. This means it can jumpstart a dead motorcycle multiple times on a single charge. No more worrying about whether your battery has one less crank in it. And it's got built-in safety features. It's got reverse polarity protection, overcurrent protection, and short circuit protection. So you don't fry your battery or yourself. Plus it's portable and compact. Unlike those old school jumper packs that weigh as much as a small child, this thing is light, compact, and it fits easily in a saddlebag. Plus hey, USB charging ports. Not only does it bring your bike back to life, you can also charge your phone, your GoPro, or your GPS in a pinch. It's got a built-in LED flashlight because, of course, your battery will not die in broad daylight. It'll wait until midnight in the middle of nowhere. And that LED flashlight has a strobe and SOS mode. Perfect for signaling help if you ever get stranded. And using this thing is stupid easy. Even if you've never jump-started a bike before, the Astro AI S8 makes it pretty much foolproof. You just connect the cables, red to positive, black to negative. Yeah, it's that easy. No engineering degree required. Powered on, the device will tell you when it's ready, and then you start your bike. Hit the start button and boom, you're back in action. That's it. No drama, no waiting, and no calling a tow truck that's going to charge you more than your bike's worth. And because this thing is so small and rechargeable, you can keep it with you at all times without taking up much space. Moral of the story, a dead battery does not have to ruin your day. The Astro AI Jump Starter ensures that no matter where you are, you're never stranded. It's one of those things you don't ever really think about until you need it, and then suddenly, it's the greatest thing you ever bought. Okay, now we're getting into the precision tools, the torque wrench. I know, it sounds a little fancy and mathy, but let me tell you, it's a game changer. And if you've ever tightened something a little bit too much and you realize you've snapped the bolt or stripped the threads, yeah, welcome to the club of regrettable moments. Some parts on your bike, like your brake calipers, your wheels, your exhaust mounts, and your spark plugs, they need to be tightened to a specific torque. And while you can guess and pray, a torque wrench ensures you're tightening things just right. Not too tight, not too loose. That's sweet spot. You don't need to be a mechanic to use one. You just set the desired torque, and when it clicks, you know it's perfect. It's like a horse whisperer, but for bikes. I personally recommend the Park Tool TW5 or the Tecton 24335. Now, be warned, these guys are pretty steep in price. Thus, I'm calling this one optional. But trust me, if you can swing getting one, it's worth the investment. I mean, sure, you can hand tighten your spark plugs, and I admit I've done it numerous times. But over tightening your spark plugs can damage the spark plug threads or even your cylinder head, possibly making it impossible to get that sucker out of there again. And under tightening could lead to misfires and poor performance. In your brake calipers, I mean, let's just agree we don't want to mess up our brakes, right? Bottom line, skip this tool at your own peril. A strip is a strip, my friend, and trust me, replacing those parts is a pain in the ass. Ah yes, nothing like starting your ride with a nice cold puddle on your seat soaking straight through to your soul. Or how about coming back to your bike after a sunny day and realizing your black leather seat has turned into a frying pan? Congratulations, your thighs are now well done. This is why a good motorcycle cover isn't just a luxury, it is a must-have. Rain, sun, dust, birds with questionable aim. Your bike deals with a lot when it's parked outside. A solid cover keeps your ride clean, dry, and protected. Now, you don't need anything fancy, just a weatherproof, UV-resistant cover that can handle whatever nature or your neighbor's cat happens to throw at it. My pick, I've got several of the Zytem all-season motorcycle cover, or however you pronounce that. It's waterproof, it's UV resistant, and it even has a lock hole so you can secure it and keep sketchy folks from peeking under it like it's some kind of mystery prize. Speaking of which, a covered bike is less likely to get stolen. Most thieves are lazy and they want an easy grab and go. If they can't immediately see what kind of bike it is, they're less likely to take the risk. Plus, if you throw on a cheap cover, they might think it's some kind of beater and just move on. And for all my apartment riders or garageless warriors out there, this thing will save your paint job, your seat, and your sanity. So again, just look for one that's waterproof and UV resistant, so it keeps the rain and the sun from turning your bike into a rusted or faded mess. Preferably one that's lockable and theft deterrent, because like we said, if they can't see it, they're less tempted to steal it. And something that just keeps dust, debris, and those terrible bird bombs away, because no one wants to scrape pigeon surprises off their tank. And even inside a garage, somehow down south, pollen season will still leave a layer of yellow all over your pristine bike. And lastly, you just want something that's easy to pack up and carry. And these guys fold up small enough to easily stash in your saddlebag. Long story short, unless you like sitting on a soaking wet seat or baking your legs on hot leather or spending more time cleaning and drying your bike than riding it, get yourself a simple motorcycle cover. Again, your future self will thank you. Speaking of deterring theft, you ever park your bike, go inside for coffee, and then come back out and suddenly your motorcycle has pulled a disappearing act? Yeah, not fun. And unless you're part-time Batman, tracking down a stolen bike on your own is next to impossible. This is why you need something like the Manimoto anti-theft GPS tracker. It's like slapping a "you can run, but I'll find you" sticker on your motorcycle without actually slapping a sticker on your motorcycle, because that'd be weird. The second some shady character so much as nudges your bike, the Manimoto sends an alert straight to your phone and it starts tracking the bike's exact location. There's no waiting, no guessing, just real-time tracking that can actually help you get your bike back before it's stripped for parts. Why you need a Manimoto? Because you get instant motion alerts. You get an alert the second someone moves your bike. No delays and no false alarms. Plus you get live GPS tracking, so if your bike is stolen, you'll know exactly where it's going instead of playing detective. And it's completely wireless. No wiring, no draining your battery, just a hidden tracker that runs for months on its own power. Plus you've got a smart key fob where the tracker will auto disarm when you're nearby with the fob. So you don't get spammed with alerts every time you touch your own bike. And look, it's affordable. It costs way less than other high-end GPS trackers, but it still does the job. Now, is this going to physically stop a thief? No, you still need a good lock and common sense. But let's be real, if a professional thief wants your bike, a lock and chain, it isn't going to stop them. The real power is knowing where they're taking it. And look, motorcycle theft is way too common, and the recovery rates, yeah, they're pathetically low. But with a GPS tracker like the Manimoto 7 or 9, at least you've got a fighting chance to get your bike back. And trust me, that peace of mind alone is worth it. Now, if you've ever worked on your bike after sunset, whether it's tightening bolts or searching for that one bolt you dropped, you know this. Nothing beats a good flashlight or a good headlamp. I'm talking about the difference between blindly reaching around and hoping you don't accidentally break something versus actually seeing what you're doing. And headlamps are especially clutch because they leave your hands free for doing the actual work. I gotta admit, I don't even actually recall where I actually got this one. If I'm being honest, I think it might have actually been one of my kids' toys at some point. I think it came in one of those like spy kits or something. But you can get any number of 100 different ones off of Amazon and they're pretty cheap. I mean, they're light, they're comfortable, and it's not going to make your neck feel like you've been carrying bricks after 20 minutes. Now, a nice little travel work light is also pretty clutch to light up your bike's dark corners. And this one, I got one year as a stocking stuffer, I'm pretty sure. And I was able to find it listed on Amazon, and I'll put that link for it down below. It's called the Mantis. It's a multiple brightness lamp and a flashlight all in one. Plus, it has a built-in adjustable arm, so you can stand it up in at whatever angle you need it, or, because it's also got a magnetic end, you can stick it to something for that optimal angle. For something somebody probably thought was just stocking filler, it's actually a pretty handy little tool. You know, it's the little things that make repairs easier, especially when you're working on something tricky or in the middle of nowhere. All right, let's be real. Riding a motorcycle is amazing, but at some point, you're probably going to meet the pavement in a way that isn't planned. Maybe you had a little oopsie in a gravel parking lot, or maybe you got stung by a wasp that decided your helmet was prime real estate. Or maybe you were just trying to look cool at a gas station and, well, gravity won. Whatever the case, you're going to want a first aid kit. Enter this little lifesaver right here. The 120-piece mini first aid kit. It's small enough to fit in a saddlebag or a tank bag or even your jacket pocket, but it's packed with everything you need to handle minor injuries and keep riding. This little portable sucker has got most everything you need for your minor mishaps, from tape, swabs, wipes, pads, tweezers, scissors, gloves, and even a tourniquet, because road rash isn't a fashion statement. And the sun, hot pipes, or rogue insects can do more than just test your patience. You ever get stung inside your helmet at 60 miles per hour? Yeah, 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. This little kit is compact and waterproof, which is why there's no excuse not to carry one. But if you've got the budget and you want to step up your first aid game, then check out the Biker Fact from Refuge Medical. Another motorcycle content creator out there named Professional Monkey has made a great video on this kit that he helped put together with Refuge Medical. I'll leave a link to both that video and the kit in the description below. And this is not your average pharmacy first aid kit. It's specifically curated for motorcyclists and comes with everything you need to handle more serious emergencies. And it's still in a pretty reasonably small pack. It's professional grade, but at $300, it's also professional pricing. The Biker Fact is the kit that you hope you never need, but if you do, you'll be damn glad you have it. If you can afford it, it's worth every penny. Look, nobody plans to get hurt, but it happens. And when it does, you're gonna be real glad that you got a first aid kit instead of trying to MacGyver a bandage out of a dirty t-shirt and some duct tape. At the very least, carry something like this 120-piece mini first aid kit so that you're not completely unprepared. But if you ride a lot, especially in remote areas, and you want next level protection, then yeah, maybe check out that Biker Fact from Refuge Medical. You wouldn't ride without a helmet, right? Well, think of these as helmets for the rest of your body. All right, bonus time, and this is definitely not a must-have on this listicle, but this is just a little bonus of the various crap that I've stuffed into a zippered case that I carry around with me for my own conveniences. And this may not be an option for you if you ride pretty minimalistic or you don't have anywhere to stash this away. But if you've got a pretty big tank bag or a backpack or tea bag on your sissy bar, or if you've got softer hard saddlebags, then you know some of this stuff might come in handy for you. So let's take a peek at what's in the junk bag. This is kind of like the equivalent of a motorcycle pack rat, but hey, I do these kind of things because I want to be prepared, like a Boy Scout. Let's see what we got. And it's all just dumped in here. Again, bonus time, not recommending that you have to carry this with you, just that this is some of the stuff that has come in handy for me over the years that I've just kind of accumulated into a grab-all that can very often come in quite handy. All right, so we talked about earlier, I've got a bunch of multi-tools. Got my Mantis light with my magnetic end, which is stuck to my X-Acto knife, which I've got in here also. A good X-Acto knife always comes in handy. Electrical tape, because you never know when you're going to need to shore up some wiring or, I don't know, any number of things you can use electrical tape for. Full-size scissors. This has come in handy more times than I can count. Lock nose pliers, a couple of different little screwdrivers, spark plug tool, that comes in handy, obviously. This is a little eyeglass screwdriver, which can come in handy in certain situations if you've got a tiny little screw you need to get at. And then I've got this little wrench set, all the different little heads, including hex and flathead and Phillips. So adjustable, you can reach difficult places and comes in handy. We've got some extra batteries, some actual duct tape. Got some silicone dielectric compound. This comes in handy when you're messing with some finicky light bulbs. And then last but certainly not least, I have another multi-tool. This one is kind of a Swiss Army knife multi-tool. It's a wrench, but it's also got screwdrivers, various different blades. It actually has a ruler, which is actually also a saw. So yeah, just a basic do everything multi-tool by Guardsman. It's kind of a survivalist outdoor tool. So yeah, an enormous mishmash of what seems like absolute junk, but at some point in time, every one of these items in this little bag has been needed for something. So now I just carry it all with me because I ride a bike that has hard saddlebags and I definitely treat it like a freaking pack mule. All right, there you have it. 10 tools that every rider needs to make their rides safer, smoother, and way more fun. And now I want to know what tool you always have on hand that's saved your ride. Drop your must-have tool in the comments below. And remember, ride safe, stay prepared, and just have fun out there. In the meantime, as always, we'll keep bringing you along for our rides. And until then, we'll see you in the next one.